There was a time when men would walk across a crowded room with confidence, look a woman in the eye, and introduce themselves without hesitation. It wasn't arrogance, it was presence. It wasn't domination, it was energy. There was something alive inside them. A quiet courage that made them take the first step, not because they were perfect, but because they believed in connection, in the beauty of trying. But somewhere along the road, something changed. Men stopped approaching. They stopped showing up. They stopped believing that their presence had value. Today, men are quieter, more hesitant, and often trapped inside their own heads. They question every move, overthink every possibility, and carry an invisible weight. The fear of rejection, judgment, or simply not being good enough. And this isn't just about women, or dating, or love. It's about a deeper silence forming in the hearts of men, a silence born out of exhaustion, confusion, and self-doubt. The world changed, expectations shifted, and somewhere between the noise of modern life and the endless scroll of comparison, men lost the rhythm that once defined them. It's not that men don't want to approach anymore. It's that they don't feel grounded enough to do it. Their minds are restless, their bodies are tired, and their spirits are uncertain. The truth is, you can't approach someone if you're disconnected from yourself. You can't give energy when your own is scattered. The modern man wakes up tired, sits for hours in front of screens, eats what's easy instead of what's right, and fills silence with distractions instead of reflection. Slowly, he forgets how to listen to his instincts, that deep voice inside that once guided him with clarity and courage. But everything can change, not through tricks, not through fake confidence, but through alignment. When a man begins to take care of his body, his diet, his sleep, his energy, and his mindset, something remarkable happens. His confidence doesn't come from words, it radiates from his presence. It's in the way he stands, breathes, and carries himself. It's not about muscles or money. It's about being at peace with yourself, because peace is power. And power attracts. Think about this. Every time you skip breakfast and grab a coffee instead, every time you stay up late watching meaningless content, every time you ignore that quiet urge to stretch, walk, or breathe deeply, you're not just hurting your health. You're dulling your inner spark. You're teaching your body to settle for survival instead of strength. But when you make small, steady changes, a balanced diet with natural foods, a 20-minute walk every morning, a commitment to good sleep, your body begins to remember what confidence feels like. Not the fake kind you post online, but the deep kind that grows from within. Confidence starts in the gut. Energy starts with oxygen. Focus begins when you stop overloading your mind with junk information and give yourself moments of silence. When you clean your diet, your mind follows. When you move your body, your emotions shift. When you rest well, you see the world with sharper clarity. And that's when men begin to return to themselves. Because health isn't just about muscles or abs, it's about energy. It's about feeling alive again. Men today are not broken. They're simply out of rhythm. They've been told to suppress, to hold back, to not offend, to not be too much. But being a man isn't about being loud or aggressive. It's about being centered. A man who is grounded in purpose doesn't need to chase validation. He creates value. When you start living like that, approaching anyone, in business, in relationships, in life, becomes natural again. You stop rehearsing your worth and start radiating it. The modern man's greatest challenge isn't competition, it's distraction. His energy leaks into everything except what truly matters. Every notification, every quick pleasure, every shallow escape slowly drains the life out of him. He's left with anxiety, loneliness, and a strange sense that he's falling behind even when he's doing everything right. But deep down, he knows something is missing. The connection to real purpose. That's why so many men feel invisible today. They're physically present, but emotionally absent. They've forgotten what it means to feel alive in their own skin. So what changed everything? It wasn't just culture or feminism or technology. It was the loss of direction. For generations, men had a path. Provide, protect, build, lead. But now the map has faded. Men are told to be sensitive but strong, humble but assertive, independent but emotionally available. It's confusing. But instead of trying to fit into every box, men need to rebuild from within. To slow down, breathe, and ask, who am I when no one's watching? Because that question is the key to rediscovering your power. The foundation starts with health. A man who takes care of his body reclaims control over his life. A clean diet doesn't just feed muscles, it feeds the mind. A 30-minute morning workout isn't just about fitness, it's about discipline. When you choose to train your body, you're sending a signal to your brain that you're worth effort. You begin to feel alive again, capable, sharp, resilient. And that energy spills into every area of your life. From the way you talk to others, to the way you walk into a room. You stop approaching with fear and start moving with confidence. Confidence is not built in a day. It's built in every choice you make when no one's watching. Every time you resist an unhealthy habit, every time you choose to read instead of scroll, every time you wake up early to stretch instead of snoozing the alarm, you're shaping your future self. That's how men rebuild themselves. Through quiet victories. Through simple, consistent effort. Through respect for their own time and energy. Most men don't need motivation. They need momentum. You don't have to climb a mountain, just start with a small step. Fix one habit. Drink more water. Eat something real. Go for a walk. Turn off your phone for an hour. Let your mind breathe. You'll be surprised how fast your confidence begins to return. You'll feel your energy rise. You'll start looking at life differently, less from fear, more from clarity. Because self-care is not weakness, it's strategy. And when a man learns to care for himself, he naturally becomes more attractive, not just to women, but to life itself. Approach doesn't mean chasing. It means showing up with intention. It means knowing who you are and what you bring to the world. The truth is, when a man is in control of his health, his focus and his purpose, the world responds. People notice the calmness in his tone, the steadiness in his eyes, the quiet confidence that says, I'm here, I know what I'm doing. That's the kind of energy that draws others in. That's what's missing in modern men. Not muscles, not style, but presence. And presence comes from inner stability. It's time for men to rise again, not in anger, not in noise, but in awareness. To build a life so meaningful that silence feels sacred. To take care of the body that carries their purpose. To eat for energy, not escape. To move for vitality, not vanity. To sleep for restoration, not escape. To speak with honesty, not fear. Because when men start living intentionally, the world begins to feel their presence again. They no longer need to approach. They naturally attract. And it all begins with one decision: to stop living passively, to stop waiting for the right time, the right woman, the right job, the right motivation. The right time is now. The body you have is the one you train. The mind you carry is the one you discipline. The life you're living is the one you shape today. That's the truth most men forget. They wait for inspiration when action itself creates inspiration. Men don't have to be perfect. They just have to be awake. Awake to their habits, their thoughts, their patterns. Awake to the fact that every choice is shaping their future. Because when a man begins to live consciously, he becomes unstoppable. His energy sharpens, his posture changes, his voice deepens with conviction. And that's when he becomes magnetic again. Not because he's trying to impress anyone, but because he's finally impressed himself. Every man, deep down, remembers what it felt like to want something, to truly want it. Not just desire it, but to pursue it with heart, with drive, with purpose. That fire used to define masculinity, but somewhere along the way, many men started living like they were already defeated. They lost faith not in others, but in themselves. They stopped believing that change was possible, that love could be real, that their voice mattered. And that quiet defeat shows in how they walk, talk, and live. But here's the truth: no man is broken beyond repair. You just forgot your rhythm. You forgot the warrior within you, the one who's not afraid to rebuild, to rise, to begin again. You see, men used to be defined by movement. A man who doesn't move doesn't grow. A man who doesn't challenge himself decays. When your days blend into one another, work, screen, sleep, repeat, your spirit slowly falls asleep. But life begins to shift the moment you take action again, even the smallest action. Walk outside in the morning, let sunlight hit your skin, breathe deeply, and remind yourself, you're alive, you're capable, and it's not too late. Because every sunrise is a new invitation to take back control. The reason many men aren't approaching women, or opportunities, or life, isn't fear, it's fatigue. They're tired of pretending, tired of failing silently, tired of carrying the pressure to always appear fine. Society told men to be strong, but never taught them how to heal. To be leaders, but never how to rest. To achieve, but never how to feel. That's why so many men walk through life in emotional numbness, functional, but not fulfilled. But that's not how a man is meant to live. You're not meant to just survive. You're meant to thrive. You're meant to build, to connect, to create meaning. So what's the solution? Reconnection, not to people, not to technology, but to your own energy. Start by listening to your body again. Feed it with real food. Stay away from the constant cycle of caffeine highs and junk food crashes. Eat vegetables, fruits, clean proteins. Hydrate. Cut down the sugar that dulls your focus and fuels your anxiety. A clear body creates a clear mind. The moment you take control of your diet, you take control of your destiny. Because discipline in food builds discipline in thought. Then move. Not to impress anyone, but to honor the body that carries you through life. A light 20-minute workout in the morning isn't just about burning calories. It's a declaration of self-respect. It tells your brain, I'm not done yet. I still have more to give. Stretch, breathe, walk, sweat, reconnect to your vitality. You don't need a gym membership to feel strong. You need consistency. When your body starts moving, your emotions follow. That's how you rebuild momentum. Men who move with purpose don't just look confident, they feel confident. And women, success, opportunities. They respond to that energy. Because energy doesn't lie. You can't fake vitality. It's either there or it's not. So if you want to approach life with confidence again, begin with your energy. Protect it, train it, nourish it. And when you start rebuilding your physical health, something amazing happens inside. Your mindset shifts. You start saying no more often. You stop wasting time on things that drain you. You stop chasing validation. You start seeing through the noise of the modern world. The filters, the fake perfection, the pressure to perform. You realize that your value isn't based on attention, it's based on awareness. You don't need to chase what's already attracted to your authenticity. You see, when a man becomes intentional, his energy changes. People sense it before he speaks. He doesn't need to approach anymore. Life starts approaching him because he radiates calm strength, not desperation. That's what's missing in so many men today. They want to be seen, but they forget to be centered. They want to be loved, but they forget to love their own life first. They want to be respected, but they don't respect their time or their habits. You can't give what you don't have. Confidence, love, peace, all start within you. Every man must take back ownership of his energy. You can't afford to spend it on comparison, on fear, on endless scrolling. You can't afford to waste your focus on people who don't value your presence. Your time is your currency. Spend it where it multiplies, not where it drains. The greatest investment a man can make is in his own health, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual. When that foundation is strong, everything else becomes easier. Conversations flow, opportunities appear, confidence grows. Modern men often believe success will bring peace. But the truth is, peace brings success. You don't chase greatness. You align with it. And that alignment begins with simple daily habits. Wake up earlier, eat cleaner, move your body, read something meaningful, limit the noise. These may sound small, but they are the bricks that rebuild a man's foundation. Each act of discipline rewires your brain to believe in yourself again. That belief is the real approach. Because when you walk into any situation believing that you belong there, others feel it too. And yes, rejection will still exist. Life won't always respond the way you want. But rejection isn't a signal to stop. It's a sign that you're alive, that you're trying, that you still have the courage to step forward. Every strong man you admire has faced rejection, but they didn't let it define them. They let it refine them. Each no became fuel for growth. That's what separates men who approach from men who avoid. The difference isn't confidence, it's resilience. The willingness to try again, even when it hurts. You don't need to be perfect to approach life. You just need to be real. Real about who you are, what you feel, and what you want. Drop the mask. Be honest with yourself. Heal where you hurt. Forgive yourself for where you've fallen short. Because when you carry unresolved guilt, you dim your own light. But when you forgive yourself, you free yourself to connect again with others and with life. There's beauty in being a man who cares, who feels deeply, who still believes in love, health, and growth in a world that tells him to stay numb. The modern world might call it weakness, but it's strength, raw, honest strength. The kind that builds meaningful relationships, lasting confidence, and true peace of mind. So let's talk about mindset, because that's the foundation of everything. The way you think about yourself shapes the world you see. If you walk around believing you're invisible, the world will reflect that back. But if you believe you have value, purpose, and something to give, the world responds differently. It's not magic, it's energy. Your thoughts create your posture shapes your presence, and your presence defines your reality. So every morning, before you face the world, face yourself. Speak life into your reflection. Remind yourself, I am enough. I am capable. I am ready. A positive mindset isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about choosing to keep faith even when things aren't perfect. It's about knowing that growth is uncomfortable, that healing takes time, but refusing to give up. The older you get, the more you realize life isn't about speed, it's about direction. You can start late, you can start scared, but you must start because time will pass either way. And here's something most men forget. Aging isn't the enemy. Stagnation is. The body might get older, but your spirit can stay strong forever. A healthy diet, light exercise, enough sleep, and mental peace can keep your vitality alive. You don't need to look 20, you just need to feel alive. That's what real attraction is, not age, not appearance, but energy. A man with energy, purpose, and kindness will always stand out. When you live like this, with clarity, intention, and respect for your own energy, something incredible happens. You stop chasing connection and start attracting it. You begin to notice people are drawn to your presence because you bring peace, not pressure. You become the calm in a chaotic world. You become the example other men quietly look up to. You become the kind of man who doesn't need to approach because life flows toward him. So to every man listening, remember who you are. You were not created to shrink, to doubt, to hide. You were built to grow, to learn, to rise. Don't let the modern noise make you forget that. Take care of your body, your mind, your soul. Build a routine that fuels you. Eat clean, move daily, think clearly, speak truthfully, and live with intention. Because when you master these simple things, everything else, success, love, purpose, begins to follow naturally. You don't need to be the loudest man in the room. You just need to be the most centered. Because calmness is the new confidence. Presence is the new power. And consistency is the new charisma. So walk with purpose, talk with honesty, and live with discipline. When you do, you'll find yourself not chasing life, but being chased by it. Men are not approaching because they've forgotten their power. But the moment they remember, the moment they rebuild their health, their habits, and their mindset, everything changes again. Because the world doesn't need more noise, it needs more grounded, awake, healthy men. Men who don't escape their pain, but face it. Men who don't waste their energy, but use it to build. Men who don't approach for attention, but for connection. That's what real strength looks like. That's what real masculinity feels like. And if you're hearing this right now, maybe this is your wake-up call. Maybe it's time to stop scrolling, stop comparing, stop waiting, and start becoming. Because deep down, you already know what to do. Eat better, move more, sleep well, breathe deeply, think positively, speak less, act more. And never forget, your worth isn't measured by who you approach, but by the life you create when you finally approach your own potential. So stand tall, breathe deep, and begin again. This time, not out of fear or pressure, but out of love. Love for life, love for yourself, love for the man you're becoming. Because that's when everything changes. That's when the world starts noticing you again. That's when men are not approaching, turns into men are becoming.